single person that voted yes did that because they saw themselves in the vision. And we painted, but it's their vision too. It will forever be stamped as a beautiful thing.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
We're coming up on our union profile segment. We try to do a union profile every week, a smaller, typically a local union in the South. We try to highlight. This week we have Jordan Easley on. He is an organizing director for the International Chemical Workers Union Council of the UFCW. The UFCW is the United Food and Commercial Workers. Jordan Easley, welcome to the Valley Labor Report. It's great to have you.
Thanks for having me. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. You sound great.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, really appreciate it. And before we dive into what's been going on in Alabama, let's just start with you. If you could give us a little bit of background, what got you into the labor movement? What led you into the International Chemical Workers?
Awesome. Well, I hail from the great city of Detroit, Michigan. A very pro-labor state, pro-labor city, but pro-labor state as well. I'm from a family of auto workers, boiler makers, engineers, and stuff. So it's been streaming through my veins for quite some time. And how we pay it forward is based on the past, present, how we can pour into the future and stuff. So I am fortunate to be part of a labor world in which we pour into educating and mobilizing the masses on an everyday basis and stuff. So just want to give a shout out to the great city of Detroit, Michigan in that regard, because it's how we keep our city going. It's how we get, production is always production in our lay of the land.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's cool to have that background with the auto worker legacy of organizing in Detroit. So tell us a little bit about the International Chemical Workers Union. I'll be honest, it was not a union I was very familiar with before,
Sure.
I got to talking to you and finding out about this campaign in Alabama. So, who's ICUC? International
ICWC.
Chemical Workers Union Council. Yeah, see, it's a mouthful. So tell us a little bit about y'all.
Right. Well, I before I get into that, when I teach labor studies courses, or instruct labor studies courses on behalf of the University of Michigan Community Center of Labor Studies, I always say LMNOP because there's a lot of acronyms in that regard. But we are the intermediate charter body of the UFCW, United Food and Commercial Workers, which is the largest private sector union in the U.S. I want to give a special shout out to my president, Lance Easley, with the H, and also newly elected President Milton Jones, who are spearheading these efforts to bring great value for workers to use their voice and exercise their right to use their voice, because time is worth more than money. And what I mean by that is conversations matter now more than ever, because there's a lot of money thrown at us as a way of attack, right? So you name it. Just agriculture, microelectronics, hydrocarbons, gas, you name it, everything that can be from what you can weaponize as opposed to what you put in your Kool-Aid. So chemicals are in everything. I'm sure you guys know that.
Great. So let's talk about Gaylord Chemical in Tuscaloosa. Tell us a little bit about, that entity down there. What kind of jobs do they do? And what led them to reach out to y'all and to organize?
Absolutely. The ones that were unionized were the production department, which consists of operations, multi-craft technicians, which are the maintenance and repairs, and then also the finishing technicians, which were part of the final stages of a product that is created. And so they focus on the pharmaceuticals, agriculture, microelectronics, and so everything that makes the company what it is, and that way they can spearhead that and move that into multiple states and set up shop in that fashion.
Yeah, and y'all won a big victory back in January. So Can you
Yes,
tell
sir.
us a little about this victory and what's been happening since the election?
Well, the victory is very significant, especially how hard it is to organize in the South, right? Let alone in Tinseltown in that regard, which hails one of the most expensive and more special colleges in the world, in University of Alabama. So
That's right.
yes. And so I say that to say that you have to map out every nook and cranny of what it takes to organize and how to keep the conversation going. But everybody knows University of Alabama, whether it's with sports, whether it's with just that Tinseltown narrative. And we were able to do some great work in regards to it. These workers were very special in regards to wanting what's best for each other. They were very close knit, and when it comes to the organizing, they all realized they all had each other in that regard. And I think that's why I reflect the 84% of the victory that did occur. And that was a special moment that's forever stamped. And it also aligns with the town narrative and stuff like that too, because it did make local news in that regard. So the recognition letter, I'm sure that most people don't know what that is, but by law, we have to submit a recognition letter just in case the employer happens to have a change of heart right at that moment to accept the fact that, or recognize the union, right? 99.9% of the time that doesn't happen. So we don't bank on that, but by law, we have to submit that. And each person that voted yes did sign a recognition letter. And not just signed, they signed, dated, and printed their name too. So
Wow.
it was right. So every single person that voted yes did that because they saw themselves in the vision that we painted, but it's their vision too. So it will forever be stamped as a beautiful thing. It's just a matter of how we can pour into what's the next steps, and also never forget that what they did was very pivotal in the labor movement, also in the South.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, how has Gaylord Chemical, how's the company been taking this ever since?
Well, not so good at all. It really happened under their nails, right? There wasn't able to be any union busting going on, which naturally goes on throughout most union campaigns. And so these individuals, along with myself, with just being a fly on the wall, because obviously the union starts with you. The first three letters of the word union is you and I, correct? So this is the workers' win, right? And we were able to skate under the nails. And because of that, they've been running a very aggressive boss campaign because of it. They didn't have a hand in it. They didn't have any knowledge of what was going on, and they're not too happy.
Yeah, and that's something that we experience so much here in the South. We just had a tough loss in Huntsville last week at the Navistar campaign with the UAW, and it's not uncommon that these companies fight back, and it's really difficult sometimes in the South because of that. And you mentioned earlier those relationships that they have with each other, and that seems to me to be the most important thing to withstand those kind of attacks, is to have each other's back, to maintain that solidarity and just that collective spirit of looking out for one another. So I wanted to just ask, what's next for Local 191T? We, as you said, you've been dealing with some retaliation from the company. They're not happy. So what are some of the next steps? And more importantly, for our listeners, is there anything that we can do to support these workers as they try to fight for a first contract?
Absolutely. I think it's, we have to understand that it's something that is not expected when it comes to the percentage, but we also have to pour into the fact that percentage did happen. So at one point, everybody was on board to, to a point where people were willing to put their, not only their John Hancock, but print and sign a date of that support, right? And I think through all unions, given this new administration, who are piercing through labor on an everyday basis in every which way. And I will say, before I was next, I did hear about how they're piercing through the health and safety, and that's what they did through us. We need to start leaning on each other. Find that technical support. Many hands do make light work, right? So we have a lot of community interest groups. We have Jobs That Move America. We have the North Labor Council. Adam, I know you're part of Alabama Rise, and I think within these next few years, this new administration isn't playing around. We can point fingers or we can do something about it. And I think hearts and minds will always triumph monetary value because at the end of the day, we could go into what Tinseltown, leans on, right? And we, as a whole, all of us, including you, including this whole country, we won that win. And that was because of hearts and minds. It was because of great organizing and maybe prolific organizing in that sense, but we all have it in us. And so we have to pour into the boots on the ground that are currently there, lean on that understanding. And I think the results will speak for themselves. I mean, it sounds simple. I know there's a lot of moving parts, but the new administration is, they're moving parts too, right? And so if we stop thinking about the monetary value or how we can really, go dollar for dollar, because I think we'll lose every day in that regard, and realize that people just need a conversation, I think some numbers will be popping out or populating in a way that we'll never see before. That's something that I can personally say triumphed at 84% in what happens to be one of the richest colleges in the country, in Tinseltown, in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
That's right. That's right. Well, yeah, I appreciate that, because I think the conversations, the one-on-one conversations that we have with each other, with our coworkers, with our neighbors, community members, that's how we move the needle. That's how we build collective action, and that's how we build a mass movement that can really stand up for working people. And Jordan, I really appreciate your time. I appreciate all the hard work, and we're sending all of our love and solidarity down to Tuscaloosa with these workers.
Absolutely. A lot of work to go. I think that it's a calling out to all unions to say, hey, there's a lot of boots on the ground, and there are optics and logistics where, we pass things on to the rep and stuff, but what's on the ground, the revolving inoculation is what I call it. I think we can really bloviate the revolving inoculation. I look forward to seeing other unions do so, and that way narratives that are going on with UAW or, whatever union, I think we need to start leaning on, our support. It's all there. Right. And the new administration is not playing around. They're piercing through single departments, challenging these departments, and seeing, really just stacking work on one individual as opposed to pouring into these interest groups and stuff. But that's the thing. Many hands make light work, and I look forward to us doing that, because we have a few more years of this narrative, and we might as well come together and put our differences to the side.
Jordan Easley, Organizing Director for the International Chemical Workers Union Council of the UFCW. Thank you for your time. We're going to take a break. You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.